Hello, lovers of the world. This is Cinta speaking. I really love the K pop girl group comebacks this year, and I think there were some really incredible songs, but I felt bad that I wasn't able to cover them as I usually do on my channel. I haven't had the time throughout this year, so many different changes happening, but I thought to celebrate the end of 2022 and to welcome 2023, it would be fun to create a tier list ranking list of all the songs that I was able to keep up with throughout the year. Before we get into that, I do have some rules for this list. I can't talk about every single K pop girl group song that came out, otherwise, I would have procrastinated this video for a lot longer. So instead, I am focusing on title tracks and debut songs that came with the release of an album or is considered a single. So examples of that would be Talk That Talk by Twice, which arrived with Between 1 and 2, or Love Dive by IVE, which was a single with a B-side. I'm also including pre-release singles such as Pink Venom by Blackpink or Attention by New Jeans because I felt like if I were to exclude them, I wouldn't be fully capturing the state of K-pop girl groups of 2022. So I don't really feel like it was fair to separate them when they had such a huge impact on the landscape of the genre, if that makes sense. However, I am not talking about songs that were promoted after the release of the album. So songs like Impurities by LE SSERAFIM or Tank by NMIXX aren't included in my list. This is just to obviously streamline the process of ranking them as I go. And this is a K-pop tier list ranking, so I'm excluding Japanese groups and releases. So I'm not talking about Celebrate by Twice, which even though they are a K-pop girl group, it is still a Japanese song. I'm also not talking about Mascara by XG or Life's Too Short by aespa because they're English releases. So anything else that seem like they are in the same camp, I'm also not talking about those. So yeah, anyway, with that out of the way, here is my list. All right, so as you can see, I've customized it a little bit. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tiers. So the bottom tier is flop. I'm pretty sure that's self-explanatory. It's basically any song that I just genuinely disliked. Like if it played, I would ask the person who was on the aux cord to skip the song. Just because I didn't like it that much. And then the tier above that is just a miss, and that's that on that. I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like they're just songs that I dislike and I just don't know how to describe why. And the thing is, I feel like I would try to like these songs and try to see the appeal of the songs, but it just wouldn't, like, I wouldn't be able to, if that makes sense. Then the tier above that is Hey Girl, You Look Good, and it's a reference to this interview with Bob the Drag Queen.
If I saw her at the club, I'd be like, "Oh, hey girl, you look nice."
Yeah.
But it looks nice. I'm like, "Oh yeah, you look good." This outfit is like
She looks fine.
Yeah, she looks fine.
Yeah. I don't live and I'm not dying.
Yeah. If I saw her at the club, I'd be like, "Hey girl."
Where it's like trying to capture the essence of like, oh, if I saw you at the club wearing that, or like if I heard this somewhere, I'd be like, oh yeah, it's a song. I don't have anything too good or too negative to say about it. It's not really in my rotation when I listen to music. And then B tier, technically, this is what I think of as B tier, is Fun and Forgettable. This is, I guess, songs that either I really liked in the beginning and kind of like stopped liking as much as I kept listening through it, or songs I initially didn't like but eventually grew on me as time progressed. So I'll explain them. I guess it's a case by case basis, and so I'll talk about that as the songs come. And then the next one is technically A tier. I call it Have a Slayful New Year. If you took this energy with you to the new year, it would make your new year a lot better. And then S tier is called Incandescent with Joy, which is basically any song that makes me feel like this meme goes into this tier. All right, so this is more or less in random order. I tried to break it up so that it flows well. Any comeback by the same artist, I've like grouped them together. So the first up is Smiley by Yena, and I'm gonna put this in S tier. I actually ended up writing about this in my dissertation, the song, because it's an example of pandemic media, and that's what my dissertation was about. And so I feel like even just that on its own is enough to put it in S tier because it's so important to me. Like, I love the lyrics and the energy of the song. And then the song that came after that, her comeback, was Smartphone. And I'm gonna put this in B tier because I like that it kind of builds off of Smiley and there's even references of Smiley in the song. But I felt like the lyrics weren't as deep and it was kind of just like a carbon copy of Smiley. And I was like, oh, if I wanted to listen to Smiley, I would just listen to Smiley. So the next song is Dance On by Alice, previously known as Elris. I don't know why they decided to change their name, but I think that this was a perfectly serviceable re-debut track. I can't believe that exists now. I wish it was the kind of thing that like stuck with you or were memorable. Otherwise, what was the point of them re-debuting if they released a song that didn't really make too much of an impact? I don't know. It's okay. And then the song after that is Run to You. I'm gonna put this in A tier in Have a Slayful New Year. Actually, I didn't like it originally, but it grew on me over time. And I actually learned, this was the first dance that I learned. So any song that I end up learning has a special place in my heart for that. But Beautiful Monster, I wasn't really that much of a fan of. So I'm gonna put that in Hey Girl, You Look Good. And then the next song is Venom by Bandit. Justice for Bandit. They were eventually gonna claw their way out of Nugudom, but then they were just like grossly mismanaged by their company. Venom I actually quite like, so I'm gonna put this in B tier. I didn't listen to it after like the novelty wore off, but I thought it was a really good song regardless. And I'm really sad that they disbanded. They could have done some really interesting things, but such is the industry. After that is Love Dive. Sorry for the unpopular opinion. I'm gonna put this in C tier. I feel like I'm the only person in the world who isn't obsessed with Love Dive, but I have to speak my truth. For me, I think I was fatigued by the anti-drop in the chorus. I just feel like it's something that I've heard way too many times. The funny thing though is I like everything else about the song. Like the verses are really fun. Even the dance break, I like sort of, but for some reason the chorus just like turns me off and I couldn't find a way to get over that. And then the song after that is After Like. What's After Like? I'm gonna put this in B tier too. I actually also didn't like it originally and for a lot of reasons. So for example, I would have appreciated a more thoughtful, creative, and intentional use of the sample. It was sampled from I Will Survive by Gloria Gaynor. Sorry, I forgot her name for a second. Whereas I feel like their sample that they used, they just tacked on the post-chorus and expected it to kind of like hard carry the rest of the song, and I didn't really like that. I feel like it is undeniably the best part of the song, and it's not even an original sound. And if the argument is like, oh, using the sample is bringing the original song to new ears, well, I feel like for me, a sample is supposed to uplift the new song and not have to rely on the merits of the original song and the listener's preconceived feelings of the original song to garner attention. And so I can appreciate how catchy it is, and I like the memes that came out of it. This was originally a C tier, but I eventually bumped it up to a B because I actually ended up liking it a little bit more as time went on. And then the song after that is Dumchita by Secret Number. Now, I'm happy that they got out of Nugudom for this song. However, I did feel like it was a knockoff Blackpink song, and I'm not the biggest fan of that kind of sound. So I think I ended up putting this in B tier just because it was good for what it was, which is a knockoff Blackpink song. And it was good enough that it got them out of Nugudom, which I'm very happy for them for. However, I think I stopped listening to it after like the first month after it came out. Feel My Rhythm is absolutely S tier. There was no other way that this was gonna go anywhere else. I really loved this whole comeback. It was my one of my favorite comebacks of the year, and I felt like it was a really good example of somebody using a sample really well and like having it carry throughout the song. If you want to know a bit more about my thoughts on Red Velvet, you're welcome to go check out my other tier list for Red Velvet title tracks, because I made one after this came out. And then the song after that is their comeback, Birthday. Now, I'm gonna put this in B tier as well. Both Red Velvet comebacks did feel like it was a Red Velvet comeback. Like it was very stylistically and aesthetically Red Velvet. They're both tapping into the sense of like discordance in the musical production. However, I think Birthday isn't as catchy as Feel My Rhythm, which is a shame, obviously, because Birthday was technically Red Velvet's anniversary comeback, and it didn't make as huge of a splash as Feel My Rhythm did, in the same way that I feel like Feel My Rhythm did. And I think it has a lot to do with how Feel My Rhythm was just a lot more cohesive overall. The costumes, the aesthetics, its sampling, just its direction was a lot more intentional, and they all kind of understood the assignment in their own way. Whereas I feel like Birthday didn't have as strong of a direction. And then because we're still talking about Red Velvet, we might as well talk about Seulgi's solo. And I'm gonna put this in C tier. It was kind of underwhelming for me. I guess it's just not like my kind of sound, or it wasn't really something that I really wanted from Seulgi. However, she did do a great job of selling the concept, and I'm really happy that other people like it too. But that's just how I feel. And then the next song is 50/50's debut song, Higher, which I'm going to put at B as well. It's a very sweet song that showcases their vocals really well. And I'm looking forward to a lot more of their music in the future. 2023, let's go. And then the next song is Pop by Nayeon, and I gotta say I'm putting that in S tier. It did in fact make me incandescent with joy. I just feel like this is like the perfect solo debut. Costumes, the music video, the choreography, the styling. I don't know what kind of brand of cocaine that they put into the song, but it is so addictive and fun. It really like had a chokehold in the entire K-pop community. And then speaking of having a chokehold on the entire K-pop community, let's talk about Talk That Talk. Let's fucking go. I'm putting the S tier as well. I am a huge Twice stan, as you can tell. I really like this song, and I even learned it too. Oh, Thank You by Brave Girls. I'm putting this in C tier, just because I appreciate the sentiment, because it's like, oh, thank you for being there for us and stuff. But I don't know, it wasn't as catchy as I would like it to be. And then the song after that is Love Shi. I'm actually gonna put that in B tier, but like a B plus, because I really like her pigtails. In the music video, she has pigtails, and I think they're really cool. The song after that was Lovable, and I'm probably gonna put that in. I might put that in C tier. I actually really liked it in the beginning, but like after a few more listens, it kind of like plummeted in my eyes in terms of quality. Fire by EXID, I'm gonna put that in C tier as well, just because it's not really. I'm usually a huge fan of EXID's discography, but I was not a fan of this one. And I saw this as EXID's attempt at getting on with the current musical trends, but it's not really what I want from EXID. Like, if I wanted this sound, I would go for somebody else. And what I would have wanted for EXID's return is something that unapologetically sounds like EXID's old music, or like them, because I really like their old sound. There's been a lot of stylistic changes in the genre since EXID had their big hiatus. It'll be interesting to see how they kind of try to adapt to that while still trying to keep to their true roots. This is what it looks like right now. Yeah. And then we've got Tomboy by (G)I-DLE. I'm gonna put that in T tier. There's not much to say about that, unfortunately. I'm gonna put Nude though. I'm gonna put that in C as well. I think Nude is one of the most important songs of the year, if not within the last 5 years. I feel like this is the one song that like actually tries to say something really different to everybody else. The song actually samples from an aria from Georges Bizet's 1875 opera comique called Carmen. The aria is called Habanera, and the song itself has really significant implications that adds depth and meaning to Nude as a pop song, but I hate how they used it in the actual track. I think the chorus is really jarring. The violins are severe and piercing to the ear, which you can probably argue was a stylistic intention, but it was definitely not the most enjoyable experience for me. I think what really adds a lot of flair to the song is the music video and the styling and the concept overall, but as a song on its own, it's not really something that I would seek out personally. And I would like to say that despite putting this in C tier, I am fully aware of the lasting impacts of the song that the song has on the genre, and I really commend the girls for being brave enough to like actually interrogate the genuinely harmful and toxic situations we pigeonhole famous women into. There's a lot of well-researched videos about the song made by people who actually like the song, so I would recommend you go check those out, because I wouldn't be able to provide any more commentary beyond what I just said. But I do think it is possible to dislike a song and still recognize the achievement it has. And it's also not really fair because I've never really been a fan of (G)I-DLE's title tracks in the past. I typically enjoy their B-sides a lot more. I think in this case, it's really just a matter of personal feelings regarding their overall musical identity. I also just really want to say that Jeon Soyeon is the K-pop idol I respect the most in the industry. I think she brings a lot of creative and groundbreaking concepts to the table, and I'm really excited for how she's going to push the genre again next year. Anyway, that's a long spiel about a song I don't even like that much. Moving on, Bop Bop by VIVIZ. I think this was a perfectly decent re-debut song, but it wasn't really for me. However, I really like Love 8, and I'm actually going to put that in B tier. I think I would have liked this a little bit more if they had like a person with like a very belting voice, because I feel like a lot of the VIVIZ girlies have like relatively airy tones, and since none of them have the vocal tone that I really want for this song, I feel like it doesn't have as much body as I would have wished for. However, I really like this because it's a refreshing summer song. And then the next song after that is Fearless. This is some hot girl shit, my dudes. They got the whole world feeling fearless. I'm putting that in S tier for sure. And then because I'm feeling silly, wacky, and goofy, I'm also gonna put Anti-Fragile in S tier. So what? I am a Slayer film stan. What are you gonna do about it? And then I'm gonna put OO in A tier because I actually really liked it a lot, and it ended up being one of my most played songs of 2022 according to Spotify Wrapped. Dice, oof, D for Dice. I didn't like it. When I move my body, I really like the song. I'm gonna put this in A tier as well. I thought it was a really good comeback song, like a return song. The Kara had a similar-ish situation with EXID where they had to kind of return to a genre that's like changed a lot since they left. Obviously, Kara had it a little bit harder because their hiatus was a bit longer. I think they nailed it with this one. I feel like it straddles that line between new and old. I don't know how they managed to kind of create a balance of like, this sounds like old K-pop but still sounds really refreshing and new. I think it's because we've kind of gone full circle. Like, the trend cycles within K-pop have always been quite fast and really cyclical, whereas nowadays, because of social media and the internet in general, that trend cycle's just gotten a lot faster. So I think the fact that they've done something quite similar to what they've done at the time that they released it was just the right time for it to be in again. I don't know if I explained it very well, but that's the best way that I can articulate why I think this still sounds very fresh and new, even though it's technically not. Illusion by aespa. I'm gonna put that in B tier. It actually grew on me. It's like a perfectly average aespa song, which is to say that like aespa has great songs, and I'm not really too surprised when they release great music like this anymore. If that makes sense. I feel like aespa is kind of doing what NCT was doing a while ago, which was easing their fans into more experimental and non-pop specific sounds, because Illusion has a lot of like metallic and industrial instrumentation. The same thing with Girls, which I'm also gonna put in B tier. I think Girls is like the lukewarm version of Savage, which is one of my favorite K-pop songs of all time. However, despite being a lukewarm version of something, I think it's a better display of aespa's vocals compared to Illusion. It has a lot of high notes and has pockets of really interesting musicality, and it's just a lot more hype in general. So I'm gonna put that in B tier, but like a B plus, whereas Illusion is a bit more of like a B minus. Yeah, Lomao. Nabulera is a flop. I'm so sorry, Hyuna. Nerdy, I also am gonna put in flop. I didn't really like it that much. Mem, I'm gonna put in C tier because I appreciate the experimentation, but it didn't really land for me. Got the Beat, Step Back. I'm gonna put that in A tier. I know a lot of people have like their own opinions about the lyrics of the song, especially since they were written by male songwriters, and especially since the group was marketed to be a role model for women. This song is definitely not what people expected an empowerment anthem to be, but for me, I'm not really exactly surprised or too shocked by the lyrics. I feel like it's something that we see a lot in the music industry, and I don't know why people are so up in arms about seeing it in K-pop specifically when K-pop borrows so much from Western pop music, and Western pop music is full of lyrics like this. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't feel offended by the lyrics. I'm just saying when this came out, I personally wasn't too like angry about it, I guess. The K-pop industry isn't exactly the most progressive and forward-thinking industry out there. And again, I don't want to dismiss the concerns of the listeners in regards to the songs. I agree that these lyrics should not have been released in the year of 2022, especially with how far we have come as a society in regards to how we view and treat women, particularly in how we portray them in our media. That's why songs like Nude get released in the first place. And I guess I support women's rights, but I also support women's wrongs. I don't know. That's all I have to say about it. I really like the song. And the thing is, I don't really like the lyrics isn't really at the forefront of my mind because I don't understand Korean. So it has never really been an issue for me to enjoy the song. Anyway, moving on. Forever One. I'm going to put that in S tier because this song did make me really, really happy. I think this is like the perfect anniversary song. It is so fun and it fills my heart with so much joy. I Envy You, I'm gonna put that in B tier. I actually really liked the song in the beginning, but as time went on and I listened to new music, this kind of fell off a little bit. And then Deep by Hyo, I'm gonna put that in A tier. I think it's still such a banger. She's such an underrated like idol. I wish SM would give her more opportunities. Forgive Me, I'm gonna put that in A tier. That is such a Slayer song. Like, wow, it's a truly invigorating song. I really love the crazy electric guitars and the way that her voice cuts through all of that. And also the rap at the end is so fucking fierce and just wraps everything together so neatly. It's really good. I really love it. Copycat by Chobom. I'm gonna put that in A tier as well. I was obsessed with this song. You have no idea. So fun. And while we're talking about A-Pink still, let's talk about Dilemma. I'm gonna put that in C tier just because it didn't really leave too much of a lasting impact on me. And then Zoom by Jessie, I'm also gonna put that in C tier. It's okay, like it's good. It went viral for a reason, but it wasn't really something that I was like listening to in my own free time. And then DM, I'm gonna put that in B tier. I really was obsessed with this in the beginning, but then it kind of fell off again like as the year went on. I really like the elegant concept though. It's sophisticated but fun at the same time. And then Stay With Me, I'm gonna put that in C tier because I just felt like it was a generic like summer song that didn't really add anything new, and it's kind of sad knowing that this is the last song that Yuri was in, so that's sad. Flip That by Luna is C tier. I wasn't really a big fan of it when it came out, and now that all of this Luna stuff is happening, it doesn't necessarily make it more appealing. Anyway, Sneakers, I'm gonna put you in C tier. I think like I would have liked it a lot more if it wasn't sung by ITZY, just because it feels like such a weird choice to give this to them. I truly feel like this was supposed to be given to Nizzy U or something because it's such a childish song. I don't know why they decided to give it to ITZY. This sounds like a Skechers commercial jingle. Like, what have they done to you? What have they done? I'm gonna get you out of there. It's not good. Anyway, Cheshire, I actually really like, so I'm gonna put that in B tier. It's not the best ITZY song ever, but I'm just glad that they had the song that I actually like. I have a love-hate relationship with ITZY's music. Even though I stan them, I feel like their musics are a lot more missed than it is a hit for me. So that's kind of sad. And then the next song is Wadada by Kepler. This was their debut song. I'm gonna put this in B tier as well. I really liked it in the beginning, but it kind of again fell off as the year went on. Up by Kepler is a C. I didn't like it at all. And same with We Fresh. I might put that in C as well. Ginga Minga Yo, I actually like. It's a pretty catchy song. It's a bit of a downgrade from their debut song, but the energy is infectious and I can appreciate that. Ring My Bell is a C tier. I didn't really like it that much. Hush Rush, I'm gonna put that in B tier. I thought it was really good. Something about how pulled back and laid back and low key it is. It's just really nice and refreshing in the context of the other girl group comebacks of the year. So I really like this debut. Pink Venom is a D. Nothing else to say about that. Shutdown, I'm actually gonna put in B tier. If you wanna know more about my thoughts on it, I posted a reaction video. You can click on the card right now. But basically, I really like the use of the sample and like integrating this juxtaposition of hip hop and classical music in the same song. The trap beats really cut through the dense and severe violin melody. Flow and the wordplay of the rap could be better though, but you could literally say that about any Blackpink song. Kiss by Tribe is a C. This was fine. Hitya, I'm gonna put in B tier. I think it's fun. It's really catchy, energetic, and has a lot of bombastic moments. The girls are also really incredible singers, which is why it is all the more confusing that they don't make them sing as much in this song. The parts where they do sing is face-meltingly good. These girlies are like screeching their heads off, and it keeps up with the momentum that the instrumental sets in motion. My only critique is that there really should be more singing. The second verse feels so empty without like lyrics and singing. Gratata, I'm not a huge fan of, but I'll put that in C tier. It's just because it's perfectly average. Alive is also a C. It was okay for me. Hype Boy is, wow, probably one of my favorite songs of the year, full stop. It's super catchy. I really like the dance and the styling. I really like how it straddles between that line of nostalgic and fresh at the same time. It's really hard to stand a bunch of 5-year-olds, but I must. Attention, I'm gonna put in C tier. I wasn't really a big fan of that as much. Sunflower by Yujong, I'm gonna put in B tier. I think it's really cute and fun. It's kind of giving like a fun TikTok challenge, which is both a compliment and a critique at the same time. Glitch by Unbi, I'm gonna put in B tier as well. It's pretty fierce, but for some reason it doesn't really stay in my heavy rotation for that long. Underwater, I'm gonna put in C tier. She's a really great singer, but for some reason it didn't stick for as long as I would have liked, I guess. Ilela, I'm gonna put in C tier as well. It's a very Mamamoo sound, and like I've never been a hugest fan of Mamamoo songs, but this was okay. Honey, I'm also gonna put in C tier. It didn't really last for too long. Lunatic, I'm gonna put in B because I actually really liked it in the beginning, but then again it fell off. Make Me Happy, I'm gonna put that in A tier because I really liked it. I really liked that Wheein went in a very different direction compared to the others, and I think it paid off for me. I hope she does more of these indie type of music in the future for her solo endeavors. That'll be fun. Pop by CSR, I'm gonna put that in B. Here we go. I really like how they decided to go for a sound that isn't so popular anymore. I feel like it's a breath of fresh air compared to the sounds that we're hearing a lot of other girls are doing. And then same with Love to Con. I actually like this a little bit more than Pop Pop. I would give Love to Con like a B+, whereas Pop Pop is like a solid B, just cause, I don't know. And then Vision by Dreamcatcher, I'm gonna also put in B. It's good. And same with Mason. Generation, I actually really like, and I'm gonna put that in C tier. It's like such a perfect K-pop song, I feel like. I'm gonna put Real Love in C tier. It was alright. It didn't really hit. And it's sad because this is their anniversary song too, so kind of sad about that. Selfish though by Yua, I really love this. I'm gonna put this in A tier. Really slayed this, and you have no idea how much the song lived rent-free in my head. I'm really intrigued by how like repetitive the song is. In another universe, I might have found it really irritating and annoying, but in this universe, I really enjoy it. Danger, D for Danger. I'm gonna put that in D. But Roller Coaster, I'm gonna put in A. I don't know why they decided to go with these two songs right after the other. I think that the energy in Roller Coaster is really infectious. I really love the mix of the retro influences in the song. And then Super Yuppers, I'm gonna put this in B, like a B+. Like it could have been an A, but I don't know why. It just feels better to put it in B tier. And then lastly, Last Sequence, I'm gonna put you in A because it was a slay. And that's it. Believe it or not, that is basically 78 songs I just ranked for you. So I am tired of talking. So let's just look at this one more time. Pretty good year. As you can see, there's a lot of B's and C's. These are the heavy hitters. a lot of average stuff. Luckily, I didn't put too many things in the bottom tier, but you have to put something in there. Such is life. Anyway, thank you so much if you watched to the end of this video. This was a bit of a chaotic one, but I appreciate you sticking to the end. Happy New Year! Have a great rest of the year. Hopefully, I'll be able to post a lot more this year. So, keep an eye out for that. Peace out. Bye! The lighting is so not good.